like I went straight to the downtown San Diego, straight to the Federal Holding Center. And like as soon as they bring you in the handcuffs, first thing you got to do is just strip down naked.
Right.
Like you do some crazy stuff, bend over, cough, and like what? Like you just feel
you know what it's like to be a stripper.
You just feel so violated. Like it's like, what did I get myself into? It was 3 of us. 2 people went inside, and I stayed waiting in the car. One person just got caught flat out inside. And then the second person made it back to the car, and then he's just like, drive. And I was like, where's the other dude? And he's like, oh, he's caught.
Oh, God.
We're here for the introduction of In and Out. It's a movement to change the world. It represents all things and all of us at all times. It's about freeing ourselves of any prison.
Welcome to In and Out Podcast, where I have dope conversations with incredible people who have been released from some form of prison. I am Eric Gerald, and today I'm talking with my guest, Q, as he takes us along his journey of beating the longest odds and achieving great success.
Thank you
What's
for
happening,
having
my brother
me.
Q?
Appreciate you. Pretty good, good.
I appreciate you for coming and sitting down, sharing your story with me and just taking us along that journey of the things that you've been through and how you're able to get to the point that you're at today. I want to give you an opportunity to introduce yourself, tell us some of the things that you're doing, and just let them know what you're about, and then we just start having a conversation.
Yeah, my name is Q. Real name is Quentin. I'm 36 years old. I had a 12-and-a-half-year sentence, and I served 10 years off of that. I was locked up at Terminal Island, and I'm from California, San Diego, so I was fortunate enough to stay home during that whole journey. But I'm here, made it out, and everything's going good right now.
That's dope. What are you doing now?
I'm a personal trainer. Well, I do a lot of things, but my main thing is I'm a personal trainer, and I do online, in person, gym, wherever, beach, boot camps, all types of that, or things like that of that nature. And I've been doing that for about 2 to 3 years now.
Okay.
And I create customized programs to people to whatever they want to look like. I just try to make that happen for them. Give them the secret.
All right, that's dope. You say you did 12. You got 12 and a half years.
Yeah.
What did they give? What was it? 144 months or
151
months?
Yeah. Actually, it was 150 months exactly.
150.
Yeah. Lost my mind when you was hearing that in court. You getting sentenced like 150 months. I'm start doing the math. Like,
yeah, that sounds like a lot. It sounds like a lot.
Yeah. I stopped counting after a while, and but
they sentenced us similarly. I had a 151 month sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah. But at least it was the bottom. Well, I guess. So was your guidelines was at the top end or the bottom? Mine was 151 to 188, and they gave me the low end.
I was on category 1, but all the way down. I forgot it. I know I was at the bottom.
Yeah.
Because of the crime and the nature of it, so they pushed me all the way to the bottom.
What was the crime?
It was armed robbery.
Armed robbery.
Yeah.
Really?
Armed robbery. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So was that like, what kind of armed robbery?
It was a small, those banks that are inside like grocery stores, like little small banks like that. So it was like that.
So they consider that?
Yeah, they consider
robbery.
that. Yep.
Wow.
Consider that federal too. Yeah, any bank is, at the time
Right.
you don't know, but once you get locked up, that's when you okay, federal, state, you know the difference.
Right.
But
now listen, we all got. I think we all got stereotypes and images in our mind and stuff.
Yeah.
When we hear about a bank robbery, so
Yeah.
I gotta. Was it like Heat, the movie? Did you ever see that movie?
Yeah, I seen that movie. Trust me, it was nowhere near that. It was just, my only job was I'm the driver. Like, hey, we'll pay you X amount of money if you just park here and we hop in the car and we go. Unfortunately, it didn't go like that, but that was my job. Was the getaway driver.
Okay, I'm interested in knowing how did that happen? Was this something y'all was planning on for a long time? Had you did similar stuff before? Had you robbed people before?
I had one of my buddies. He was the inside guy, so he worked there. So it was like one of those, and his mind got the turning like, okay, I got some. And at the time, I'm a little fresh out of high school. I'm about 20.
Okay, you were young.
So yeah, at the time, I'm actually in college, getting ready to transfer. But I was juggling friends. I had good friends, bad friends,
Right.
and it's just couldn't find that just balance. So I just felt like for me to be cool, I gotta do this at the time. Just young and dumb, but.
Wow.
But yeah, so that's where the plan came about, and yeah, it just didn't go as planned. Like,
Didn't go good. So they went up. How
didn't go
many
good.
people went up in there?
2 people. It was 3 of us. 2 people went inside, and I stayed waiting in the car. One person just got caught flat out inside, and then the second person made it back to the car. And then he's just like, drive. And I was like, where's the other dude? And he's like, oh, he's caught.
God.
So, I drive. So this whole way home, I'm just like, oh, what did I get myself into? So the dude who got caught, he ended up telling and took me and the other guy down.
Wow.
And so, like, that's where the whole case.
How much time did he do? The dude that told?
The dude that told, he did, let me see. I think he only did 6, maybe 5 years.
Oh man, you said it. That's what I was wondering.
Yeah, he did about 5 years, 6
He
years.
did less time because he told, and he's the one that went inside.
He did less time. Yeah, it was crazy.
That's crazy.
So, if you know how the Fed works, like, he had a gun. So gun alone, it carries 7 years. Like, you can't get under that.
Right.
And then they start adding on conspiracy and, all the other charges.
Right.
And he still ducked under that. It was like,
Because he got the downward departure.
all that.
And once you get the gun, that's what a lot of people don't know also. If you get caught with a gun and you got other crimes that go with it, they're not going to serve it concurrent.
Right.
So you got to do the 7 years and then it's consecutive to
Right. Right. So my whole thing was like, I'm going to trial.
You went to trial?
Yeah, I went to trial
Wow.
because I'm like,
Okay.
at the time I'm young, so I don't know how the feds work. So I'm like, they have nothing on me.
Yeah, sound like me.
Yeah, they have nothing on me besides like this guy's word or this guy's word. So I'm like, I'll take my chances because I'm thinking you have to, show evidence.
Right.
But no, feds.
The feds don't need no evidence.
They don't need no evidence. Just as long as they got one person that said he did it, then that's good enough for them.
Was it conspiracy to
Yeah,
bank robbery?
conspiracy. They charged. It was a kidnapping charge.
Oh man, where'd the kidnapping?
No one got because when the guy went into the bank, he told the worker to move over here to this
Okay,
side.
against
So
his
they
will.
consider that
Kidnapping.
kidnapping, even though he didn't physically touch them. He just said move over here.
Right.
And if you move X amount of feet, it's considered kidnapping. Like,
right.
oof.
Yeah, gun at hand.
Right,
Told him move.
right.
Wow.
So they ended up, everything he got charged with, they charged us with. So I got charged with the gun, I got charged with kidnapping, conspiracy, aiding and abetting, like everything. So I was just fighting, and I was just telling my attorney, like, man, the only way I'm taking a deal is like if you get this gun off me, the kidnapping, like, then I'll take a deal. I was like, all right, I won't get more than 5 years, like just for driving.
Right.
But like they came back like, no, we're not taking this gun off of you. So we ended up beating the kidnapping, got that thrown off.
Okay, you would have had even more time.
That carries automatic 20 years. So I'm like, oh, okay,
man.
beat that. So I'm like, okay, let's get this gun off. And they're like, no. I was just like, I didn't even have the gun, and they know I didn't have. They caught the guy who had the gun, so
They
it's
charged
like,
you
wow,
with it.
this is crazy. So yeah, they charged me with it.
Yeah, it's funny how they work.
It's crazy how the feds work. Like,
Yeah, and then a good thing you was able to get the kidnapping charge off.
Yeah.
Because you didn't actually go in
yeah,
there.
right.
But then they try and hold you responsible for the acts of anybody else that they
Right.
say that was involved in the crime.
Right.
That's incredible to me.
Yes,
How much longer once you went home did they come get you?
The next day.
Okay, so he told the
next
first day.
Yeah. So he told that right
He told
away.
when they put him in handcuffs.
Yeah, he told.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's my friends
Yeah,
at?
yeah. I actually seen his little, interrogation, and they gave him some McDonald's and a cigarette, smoke, and that was it. That's all he needed.
That's
To
crazy.
just say, yep, it was him and him. you know, we all got jammed up in that.
Yeah, that's unfortunate but that's the way the federal system works. Like,
Right.
you know, the person that might have been more culpable in
Right.
crime get
Right,
less
yeah,
time for
get
telling
the
on the
less
people that
time,
had a
yeah.
minor role.
Yeah,
And
they kept coming to me like, you know, oh, take this 20 years, take this 18 years. So I'm like, for what? Like, nah, I just can't do that.
Did he even get any money? He got caught.
Yeah, he got the money, but wasn't able to get out because I forgot what happened. Like some good Samaritan started screaming, and I think a few guys like held him down, and like he never made it out. So. Yeah.
What about the other guy that jumped in the car with you?
Yeah, he made it out. He made it to me.
But not with any money?
Yeah, no money. No money. He just, once he peeped the situation, he's like, yeah, I'm out of here. Just took off.
Wow.
Just took off.
So that guy the one that took off with you, he didn't tell, did he? Or did he?
No, he didn't tell. So
did he do similar time to what you did?
Yeah, he actually took a deal, so he did, but he had he was I guess you would call it a repeat offender. Like this was his first time getting in trouble. So like he took a deal, and I think he ended up getting like 10 years, but serving, I think like 8 or, 8.5 off of that.
Wow.
So,
Did you, I think you mentioned you didn't really grow up in the streets. Like,
yeah,
were you doing crimes before that?
No, this was the first time doing just anything, just ridiculous. I mean, well, besides when I was a kid, used to run in the store, take a piece of bubble gum or something.
Right.
Like,
but not a serious crime.
Nothing serious though. But yeah, this is the first time. Grew up pretty good. Both parents in the house. It was just the guidance on. My parents guided me in the right way. But when you're a kid, you just think, don't want to listen and that type of stuff. And
yeah, a lot of us been there, man. The streets, they get a hold of you, and it's just real. It could be a strong influence.
Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible. So talk about that decision, that time. What if anything did you learn from like how one decision could just change your life drastically?
Yeah, I was actually just debating it, like when it got brought to me, like, man, should I do this? But then, they just kept, egging me. Yeah, you can do it. It's easy. Just park here, and all you gotta do is just drive. That's it. You ain't gotta do nothing else. Like, so that's what made it me like, okay, well, I can do it. Like, that's all I gotta do. Like, all right, and yeah, it just didn't go that way. But I believe everything happens for a reason. So it sucks that I went through this, but it's my story could just help somebody else.
Right.
Like, help others.
Right.
Like I always tell people, like whenever I tell people about my story, I tell them, man, just don't let 1 minute of bad decision making in your life cost you 10 years. Like,
yeah, that's dope.
That's literally what happened. Like 1 minute cost me 10 years of my life.
That's dope. I tell people something similar. I tell them, listen, when you're getting ready to do something, you got to think about the worst case scenario, not the best case. Because I think when we are faced with a choice of whether or not we should do something, anything, we always want to concentrate on the best case scenario.
Right.
Thinking the best case scenario is going to happen.
Right.
But I tell them, if you're okay with the worst case scenario,
then
if that happens, then go ahead and do it. Because if you can't live with the worst case scenario, don't do it, because we know that it's a choice. Like more than one thing can happen. It could be the best case or the worst case, and the best case don't always happen.
Right.
So you went to trial, and you lost the trial.
Yeah.
Did they take you right then?
Actually, I was on pre-trial, so I was home, like
you
fighting.
was out on bond?
Yeah, I was out on bond. I was fighting. At first, I got locked up. My first bail was maybe like, I think they said like 500,000. Like, with feds, like, they don't do cash.
Right.
Like they want, you got to put up assets like properties or cars, and you have to own it. So I was like 500,000. Like, yeah, that's
a bit high.
It's not gonna happen. Like, it's crazy. So we just kept fighting that. Then they went down to like 400,000, and finally they went down to like 200,000, and we was able to post bond. And, I got out, and I was fighting the case for almost 2 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, going back and forth. Once they once you're in court, like, and they postpone it, then it's like 6 months or 3 months down the line. So you're like, man, it's crazy. So it's a lot of postponing and, big case too. So it's like, it sucked, but I was fighting it. And then finally I went to trial. And then after I lost the trial, the prosecutor was just like, oh yeah, we recommend that we take him in since he lost, because we think if you let him go, he's gonna run.
Flight risk, all
yeah,
this
flight
nonsense,
risk.
even though they got your assets.
Yeah. He's like, he's gonna run, considering the circumstances. So they just took me right on the spot, and that was kind of hard. You got family there, and they all crying, and that was like, so that was
it's a horrible situation.
It's horrible, like the worst.
Tell me about that first day, like, transport to the county jail.
The very first day, I was like, it was like shock. Like, man, it was crazy. Just going, like, I went straight to the downtown San Diego, straight to the Federal Holding Center. And like, as soon as they bring you in the handcuffs, first thing you got to do is just strip down naked.
Right.
Like, you do some crazy stuff, bend over, cough, and like, what? Like, you just feel
what it's like to be a stripper.
You just feel so violated. Like, it's like, what did I get myself into? And then they put you in a room all by yourself, and 4 walls, and all you got to do is think. And this is like day one. Like, so day one, I learned my lesson day one. Like most people, it take them, a while. Like, I learned my lesson day one, hour one. Like, it's like, man, this isn't for me. Like, so.
You knew that wasn't for you.
That wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. So then, I was just in that room, just praying and just, talking to myself, just going over the whole thing, and just, like, I'd started writing a letter, like, to my parents, just like apologizing, like, letting you guys down, and just pretty much pouring out my heart in that letter. Like, man, I'm it's not looking good. And that was like my first night.
Yeah, that's interesting to hear you say that. Yeah, because I think I guess a lot of people probably go through it, like, just feelings of guilt, especially when
right.
I can't speak for everybody, but I came from a family.
Yeah.
I knew I let my family down, I let myself down, I let my children down.
Right.
And everything. It sounds like you had.
I just, it was bad. I feel like I let everybody down, like my college coaches, high school, just everything.
College coaches?
Yeah.
So were you in college?
I was at the time. I was in community college. Yeah, I was playing basketball.
And you was playing basketball. You was an athlete.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Was it like newspaper clippings on it? Was it in the news?
I believe so. Yeah, I believe so. It was in the newspaper.
You played ball? Basketball?
Yeah, basketball.
Wow. Mm-hmm. When you were out on bond, were you still going to school?
They allowed, so I had the ankle monitor on, and they allowed me to go to school. The only place I can go to is school, work, or church, and then pretty much home. So for the most part, it was just like home. Just home. And the only time I left was to go down and talk to my attorney and, go over the case and what's next and that type of stuff. So.
Were you still able to participate in college sports?
No, that was it, because I couldn't take off the brace, and, they travel. Like, I have to stay in, like, my area, like San Diego. Right. So, basketball, they travel different states and different cities. So, yeah, it was over. I had to just give that up.
Wow. Wow, that's crazy. So did you, how long did it take how long were you in the detention center before you got to, like, your institution that you be staying at, your permanent institution?
I was in the detention center for about 2 years before I went to federal prison. Yeah.
2 years. When you got to federal prison, which one would you prefer to be, like the detention center or the federal prison?
I would say the federal prison, because you're able to, you're comfortable, and people are comfortable there, and everybody got their routines. County, not county, but detention is just fighting nonstop, politics, just it's just crazy, it's horrible.
Was the detention center you was at pretty violent?
Yeah, I seen some crazy stuff there. Like, I seen a guy, he just couldn't take it, so he just hung himself. Like he tried to hang himself and it didn't work. And then like a few hours later, he went right back and just seen him just there hanging. And, you know, that's when I heard like the bells and just.
Then you're lockdown.
Yeah, it was wild.
Yeah.
You know, besides the fighting, there's fight every day there.
Yeah.
Just over just stupid stuff. Like, you know, but
I think people don't, a lot of, you know, if you haven't been locked up before, you don't realize that, like, the county jails actually as you hear jail, prison, but jail is way worse than prison.
Right, way.
Because people are just getting in that stress situation.
Yeah.
And then they don't really categorize people.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you got people in there that could be in there for, you know, double murder.
Right, exactly.
And there was somebody that got marijuana charge.
All mixed up. Yeah, it's just all mixed up. Like,
I was the one with the marijuana charge.
Yeah.
Marcelli was in there for the double murder.
Yeah.
And it was crazy. I couldn't understand it. I was like, yo, how am I in there with this dude?
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I'm no better than anyone else, but my crime, I think, was...
Right, yeah.
I shouldn't have been in there with somebody that violent. That's the way I saw it.
Yeah, there was no levels to it. It was just throw them in, hey, it's empty bed over here, just throw them over here.
Yeah, that's when you really go into survival mode in the county jail.
Yeah, no sleep, like, you know.
Yeah, that's right.
Constantly.
Yeah. You better be ready to go.
Right,
or anything could happen to you. I didn't seen dudes get stabbed up. I didn't seen a dude jump from the top tier.
Yeah.
Like he couldn't hang himself, but they have tiers, and he went to the top tier and did a swan dive.
Right.
Landed on his head.
Yeah.
And didn't die.
Right.
You know, it was crazy. So you seen it all when you be in the county jail.
Definitely prison would definitely prefer that over, you know, the county and detention center.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, even though prison, it stiuld still sucked, but you know, it was still. You know,
and it could still pop off in prison at any point in time.
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
You know, but it just, I guess you're just in more confined areas in jail.
Right.
When you got to prison, did you, like, what type of routine did you get in? When did you?
Well, when you first get there, you get off the bus, like someone comes up to you and they ask you, like, what do you run? So it's like, what do I run? Like, what is that? And then so they're like, yeah, do you run black? Or are you gang affiliated?
Really?
Yeah. So it's like, I just run black. So they'll just they took me. No, they actually like, where are you from? So I was like from San Diego. So they took me to this guy who's he's actually my bunkie. He ended up being my bunkie, and he was from San Diego. So he pretty much ran like the San Diego car. Everybody was from San Diego.
Right. Oh, okay.
So then he, you know, introduced me to just everybody. And then, you know, took me like around like the yard and like, you know, here's the barbershop and this how this works, and, you know, just gave me the rundown of the land. And, you know, that was like my very first.
Wow.
As soon as I got off the bus.
That's the first thing they ask you. What do you run?
Yeah, what do you run?
I think some states, maybe like California, Texas. I didn't do time in California.
Yeah.
But Texas, I was on the East Coast. I think it's a little more pronounced with like the gang affiliation and where I was at in I did time in Georgia and Alabama, but it's more of a geographical thing.
Right.
Like, you know, if you're the Alabama boys with the Alabama boys,
right. Yeah,
or really
Texas,
from the South and stuff like that. But I know out here in Cali, it's like, you know.
It's broke down. Yeah, it's 100 different cars. Like Bloods,
and that
Crips,
race thing is serious too.
Yeah, it's serious. But at the end of the day, like if you're black, you know, you're black. So.
And you got to run with the blacks.
Right.
Wow.
Right. And if you say you run with nothing, then you know you would want to run with something. Just something.
You ain't got no friends.
Yeah. Anything.
You run with nothing.
Yeah. You run with nothing.
Wow.
You're pretty much on an island by yourself. So. Something happened to you, people are jumping you, you know, no one's gonna help.
Damn.
Like you're by yourself.
Did you see that happen sometime where people would be by themselves?
No, not necessarily, but I mean I seen people like run, they're like, oh, I'm by myself, but it's like nothing really happened. You know, they stayed in the unit, you know, didn't really come out and wasn't really active.
Straight loners.
Yeah. So you seen that.
Right.
But,
yeah, you can learn. You know, you could, if you know how to stay out the way. You know, Don't get in people's business. Don't.
Right.
I think like some of the main things I imagine that apply across the board.
Yeah.
If you don't want to get into trouble, don't borrow nothing from nobody that you can't pay back.
Yeah.
And don't get involved in gambling.
Debts and gambling.
They told me in the county jail, like, the fastest thing that'll get your head knocked off is gambling, debts, and that phone and that TV.
Right.
Don't mess with that TV.
Right. Yeah. I hadn't seen it go down over the TV.
Over the TV.
Just,
Some dudes want to be in there watching soap operas.
yeah.
All day long.
Yeah.
You don't want to watch a soap opera.
Yeah.
I done see dudes get knocked out cold
Yeah. Me too.
over the TV.
Yep. Over a show.
Yeah. Dude been in there for 10 years watching the soap opera the same day. All day long, same time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or the news or whatever it is.
Right.
you know?
Right. Yeah.
Sunday was kind of a good day though, doing football season.
Yeah. They broke it down. Like where I was at, it was a TV room, and there's like
That's
4
right.
or 5 different TVs. So
Right.
normally it's like, okay, this TV's for sports, this for news,
Right.
this for movies, and so on. So it was like broke down like that. But for the most part, it was cool. But you did have some times where like it wasn't cool.
Yeah.
It's like.
Yeah, and in the federal system, the time on the phone, there was never any problem with the phone because everybody got
Right.
300 minutes. But in the county jail, there's only there might be one phone or 2 phones or whatever.
Right, yeah.
And
Yeah.
dudes are trying to occupy the phone all
Right,
day.
yeah.
And then at a certain time, especially when it gets closer to that, where
Yeah.
that phone's gonna shut off,
Right.
and you got to lock down.
Yeah.
And I done seen dudes get, damn near beat to death over that phone too, because they wouldn't get off the phone, or
Right.
a dude is waiting on the phone, and the dude is just being disrespectful. He been on there every time the 15 minutes go by, he call back, he call back, and then somebody just tear his head off,
Right.
or try and tear the whole phone off the wall so nobody can use it.
Yeah.
All that crazy stuff happened. So when you was in there, when you finally got to your institution, your sending institution and everything, you got in your routine. Because you did quite a bit of time. Did you program, or what was it doing?
Yeah, it took me about maybe a few weeks to really just figure out everything, and then like it was really good for me because the unit I was in, it was like more guys like my age, so they was into like sports and that type stuff,
Okay.
and they're like, yeah, do you play any sports? And
Did you play
Yeah.
sports?
yeah.
Yeah, I actually did too, and I guess those were kind of fun times too, because you had something
Right.
to do. Did you play
Right,
basketball,
yeah,
football?
I played at just everything: basketball, football, softball.
Got you.
just, everything that just keep me busy,
Right.
and that'll kill my day. My whole thing was like, man, I just gotta stay busy and just like kill my day, just knock out a day at a time.
Right.
And at first I really wasn't into lifting weights. Like I would see the weight pile or whatnot, but didn't went in there every now and then finally they're like, hey, you join our workout card, and I was just like, all right. And then that's where I fell in love with just like working out and
Okay.
the discipline of everything and what works what, and like growing up I played basketball, so
That's
it's
what I
like
was gonna ask you.
you really didn't you didn't lift weights like that. Like you worked out, but it wasn't like bodybuilding type stuff.
Right.
But once I got to prison, like you start bodybuilding and just seeing what works what.
Right.
And that's where I fell in love with it, and met some people. Ended up meeting. That's how I met my best friend. We was on the bus together driving over. He was a rapper, so I just heard him just like banging on the window of the bus, just rapping some rhymes. So I'm just sitting in the back like, man, will this dude just please shut up? Like, man, we're going to prison, and he's over here rapping. So we finally made it like to the prison or whatnot, and then maybe like a few weeks in, we ran across each other like on the yard, and then like we start talking, and then after that, like every day, like
That became cool.
yeah, we became cool. Like start doing our time together.
Are y'all friends now to this day?
Yeah. Friends to this day.
Okay.
Just friends to this day.
So you started working out hard when you were in prison. Did you start formulating a plan like, like when I get out?
I would say more towards like when I first started working out, like I really didn't have a plan, but I would say about 3 or 4 years upon my release, I started thinking like, man, what can I do? Like when I get out, like what can I do? Like I would always think every night, like what can I do? And then finally, like, man, I'm gonna take this fitness serious. And then I had my people send me in like fitness books, and I started just studying, and just applying myself with that. And that's what I do today.
That's
I
dope.
would say I planted that seed way back then, and it happened.
Did you get certified? Were you able to get certified in prison or when you came home?
They had stopped it like right.
Okay. Because I know they used to have a certification
yeah,
program.
yeah, it was like $500, but it was you had to do it like I think 2 years upon like before you were released, like because it expires. So like I still had more time to go, so I couldn't get into it yet.
Right.
So by the time like I got closer to coming home, like they had stopped that. But once I got out, I got certified. But
that's dope.
I ended up getting out like around the bad time, during the brink of COVID.
Wow.
Like that was like crazy, like crazy.
Did you see a lot of people? Would a lot of people contracting COVID on the inside?
Oh yeah. So COVID happened. I was being released in I want to say March of 2020, and COVID happened. Like it started happening like earlier that year too.
Oh yeah,
And
it just they started announcing it in like January, February of 2020.
Yeah.
Okay.
So no one really knew
gotcha.
about it. Like you hear about it, but you didn't know
Right.
like how powerful it was.
Right.
So like the warden would come to, they call it like a town hall meeting.
Town hall,
like,
yeah.
Like she come to the unit, so everybody come out and she talks. So she's like, yeah, there's something going around. It's COVID. If you're going home soon, like you're gonna have to like quarantine like separately for like 14 days by yourself.
You had to quarantine?
Yeah. So I had to
wow.
quarantine like 14 days. But before that, like she had that talk, and about 2 days later, like people just started like coughing, getting sick, falling out.
Wow.
I seen a dude like they didn't care, like they just locked us up like in our little pods and like, okay, you can't go nowhere. And I don't know. I mean, obviously the guards got sick, and then it spread and hit the whole yard.
Wow.
So people
That
was
must
just
be
dropping like
crazy.
flies, and
A lot of people died in that.
Yeah, a lot of people died. Yeah, I've seen a few dudes crawling to the floor, banging on the door like I can't breathe, and this time I'm panicking like, man, I'm about to go home, and like, am I gonna make it out? Like that's all I kept saying, like, am I gonna make it out? And then I ended up catching it. And
While you were in there?
Yeah, I caught it.
Holy
I
cow.
caught it while I was in there. And then I remember I called my girl on the phone, and I was just like my nose, I can't smell nothing.
Wow.
So she's like, oh yeah, you probably just have a sinus infection. I'm like,
Bullshit.
I'm like, I've never had no sinus infection. And then after that, I lost my taste.
Oh man.
So I'm like, man, what is this? So it's like I lost my. Good thing those were the only two symptoms that happened to me. Just no taste, no smell, and that lasted for like almost 2 weeks. So it's like every night I'm just eating, just eating just to eat, like no flavor, can't smell it, can't taste it. So I'm just like, this is crazy.
That's amazing.
You know.
So you said your girl, you were in a relationship when you went to prison?
Yeah, I was in a yeah, I mean, it's a long story, but yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
I was in a
You had somebody to ride with you though. is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay, that was cool. She come to visit you?
Yeah, all the time, it takes a lot, like, to actually like do that.
Yeah,
so
no
I
question.
remember at the beginning of my bid, I'm just like, nah, like just leave me alone. Like, this is like, I don't want to drag you through this.
Okay.
And then she's like, nah, I'm with you, and was with me through the whole time.
Yo, that's a beautiful thing. Are y'all together now?
Yeah. Recently just got married.
Oh, wow. Congratulations. That's
Appreciate it. A
dope.
few months ago, got
That's
married.
what's up.
And, I had a daughter.
Wow,
She's about to be
congratulations.
2 next month. So,
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
That's a happy ending. That's a nice story.
yeah.
So she ride with you all the way. Okay,
All the
that's
way.
that's what's up. You don't see that too often.
Yeah. You don't see that. Most people fall off after maybe the first year.
Right.
Like, if you're lucky.
If you're lucky,
if you're
yeah.
lucky.
That's
So
a long time.
if you're lucky.
So-
Yeah, it's a long time. But
Yeah, that's
but
I think
had
that's the
good
toughest part.
support. Yeah, I had good support like while I was locked up. Like, it was hard. You had your hard days, but I think family, my girl, just kept me going. Like, just something to look forward to. Like, You know, I was still fortunate because when I got there, I knew I had 10 years to do. But there's some people that was there, you know, life, you know, 25, 20.
Wow.
You know, so I was always, they consider me like short timing. Like
At 10 years.
yeah,
right?
at 10 years. I'm
Yeah, you
short
ain't got
timing.
nothing.
Like, yeah.
What you crying about?
Yeah.
That's funny. That's funny how they give out that time like us to
Right.
condition us to think that, you know, a 10-year sentence is acceptable for, you know,
Right.
for small things. That's really
Yeah.
it's nonsense. We know that. We understand that. It's
Yeah.
got to change. So how important do you think it was to like your overall development and when you came home, being successful doing the things that you're doing now, to have that support system?
Oh, it was very important. Like it was like much needed. And with me, I just feel so blessed. Like when I got out, most people think like, you know, like, are you institutionalized? Like, are you okay?
Right.
Like, you know, is it gonna take you a while to adapt and adjust back to society? But with me, it's like as soon as I got out, it's like I pretty much hit the ground running.
Right.
You know, I had the friends, the family, and like everything was pretty much taken care of, and it just made it smooth, and I was able to just, you know, do what I love. And, you know, God's blessed me, opened up more doors, you know, fitness modeling, fashion modeling, you know, being extras in movies and doing music videos.
Okay,
and,
dope.
you know, so doing a lot of things.
All right, that's dope. So what aspect of fitness do you like the most? Do you like helping people? Do you like seeing the change that you could help them?
My thing is what I want to show people is like, it's doable, it's achievable. Most people think it's got to be just so hard. Like fitness is really easy. Long as the hardest thing is just dieting. Like if you can get that under control, I promise you that I can show you this fitness stuff is easy. You'll see results in 30 days, depending on how hard, you know, how dedicated you are to it. You know, so my whole thing is just like simple workouts but effective. And, you know, that's what I go by. I just teach simple workouts and you're gonna feel it.
That's dope. Now listen, I know we all grow, you know, as we go through life. But I want to know, when you came home, like, were you conscious at that time that I'm thankful and grateful and fortunate and blessed to have a support system? Because I want to ask you about your shirt and Worthy.
Yeah.
And what is Worthy?
Worthy to me is I'm worthy of having a second chance at life. So, you know, I really value that, and I understand that I messed up, but, you know, I grew up in the church, so I know God forgives. So if you really come to him and you want it, like, he'll forgive you, and, you know, you start fresh. And, you know, I'm worthy of a second chance, and I always told myself if I get out, I'm gonna make the best of it each and every day. So it's like I tell myself it's impossible to have a bad day, no matter what I'm going through. No matter what I'm going through, like, I can't have a bad day.
Right.
Like, it's like because I know what the other side feels like, and it's a million guys in there would love to switch places with me and take on my problems, you know. So
that's dope.
That's what it means to me.
That's dope. What about the Worthy? That's the foundation, right?
Yes, me and my buddy.
Okay, that's what's up.
Me and my friend we met in prison. Like he had started it before I got home.
Okay.
So like he got out like 5 years before me. It was like a sad day seeing him leave, and, you know, I'm stuck behind. So
that's right.
But, like, you know, most people, you meet people and they're like, oh yeah, when I get out, you know, I'm gonna do this and we're gonna stay in touch.
Right.
So you're like, okay, yeah.
Sure, you're right.
But, like, you know, he was on top of it. You know, always answer my calls, putting money on my books, you know, sending me pictures, you know, just keeping me in the loop. Like when they started Instagram, he's like, man, there's this thing, Instagram, like you can do good off of it. Like when you get out, like really take that fitness, like you'll do good. And like everything he said, and like he put me in position when I got home with a lot of things. Like, so yeah,
that's
definitely
dope.
Grateful.
It's funny that you say that, because, like, you know, as we're talking, you know, you might say something, I might say something, it rings a bell.
Yeah.
And it makes me remember, like, there's so many different little aspects. I mean, it's just
Right.
it's life. It's another aspect of
Right.
life. that we had to go through. We're not necessarily proud of it, but we're not, I don't know, maybe not, like, I'm not proud of the fact that I went to prison, but I'm not ashamed of it either. Like, I made a mistake.
Right.
I'm a human being.
Yeah.
But when you said something, it resonated with me. You was like, yo, this was my friend.
Right.
You form real, actual friendships in there.
Yeah.
And in some, listen, I have gotten, me, myself, extremely close, like most
Right.
people that form friendships
Right.
in prison, because
Right.
what people don't think about is when you get a friend in prison,
Yeah.
you're gonna see that friend every single day.
Every
This
day.
It don't matter if you want to see him or not.
Right,
There's no
right.
avoiding them.
Right.
And it's equally as, it's the same thing
Right.
as if you don't like someone. But
Yeah.
if you like someone, that's
Yeah.
your boy. Y'all become really, really close. And then you
Yeah.
said it's sad.
Yeah.
You happy for him that he's
Yeah, yeah,
leaving,
yeah,
but you
yeah.
sad as hell.
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah,
yo,
yeah.
I got 5 years left.
Right.
And my ace is leaving.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. Yeah, you
Yeah,
almost
it's
you
crazy.
probably be wanting to cry.
Yeah.
Or go somewhere
Yeah.
like, you
After that, I pretty
your
much
best
did
friend
my
is leaving.
time like by myself too.
Yeah.
After that, I talked to other people, but it still wasn't. I didn't have like a good bond or a connection with nobody else. But I still played my sports. Stayed active.
Right. But your ace was gone.
Ace was gone.
That's dope. But so y'all are still friends to this day. Are you a
To
part of
this
Worthy?
day. Yes, we both are.
That's dope. Tell me about Worthy. What does it do? I mean, I know
Well,
Worthy needs you. but-
what we do is we feed the homeless. So every few months we have like different like Worthy events where we'll go out to like Skid Row, in different places. Like we went to Sacramento, our last place, and just give out to the homeless. Like give food, clothes,
That's dope.
socks, just anything. That was our thing while we're in there. Like, hey, we're gonna make the best of it. We're gonna give back. Like we're gonna do whatever we gotta do. And, so we're still going strong right now.
That's dope. That's dope. You enjoy doing that? Helping
Oh,
people?
I love it. I love it. I love just helping people, just seeing the smile in their face, just from small stuff like just food, socks, even with fitness, like just giving that out to them and seeing them happy. And I get my satisfaction when people are saying, it's working.
Right.
Like it's working.
You're making an impact.
That's it. I can, money's cool, but it's like I like helping people more.
Yo, that's dope,
Like-
man. People like you and your friend,
Yeah.
your brothers and the organization, man. Listen, you restore my faith.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure like all the people that you're helping and people that,
Yeah.
there are some really good
Yeah,
people out
yeah,
there.
definitely.
It doesn't have to necessarily be all about the
Right.
shine.
Right.
Like actually helping people matters.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, that's dope. Do you remember? So I asked you about the first day that you was in there. Do you remember the day? Because I have a little saying. It's not my saying. A lot of people realize they say there's 2 days. People that have been in prison, 2 days that you remember. The day that you go in and the day that you come home.
Yeah.
Everything else in between could,
Yeah.
kind of be like a blur.
Yeah.
So do you remember the day that you came home?
Yeah.
What was that like?
Day, it was still during COVID. So COVID was still going on. I had quarantined for like 14 days, and I was supposed to be released. I think it was like April. It was like April 15th or something like that. I was supposed to be released.
So you quarantined
Before.
after you caught COVID.
Yeah, after.
Okay.
After.
You caught
and
it, and then you was over it.
because you transition to a halfway house, so they want you to be, COVID free.
Right.
So I did that, and I quarantined for the 15 days or 2 weeks, and then they still came around and they start talking to people, and they're like, yeah, you guys aren't going home on the date. So we're like, when are we going home? They're like, oh, well, we got to get this COVID thing like in check. So that was like a whole nother stress. Like, okay, I'm going home, but we don't know when we're going home. So they separated us to like a whole different unit, and we were just in that unit, just not knowing nothing.
Wow.
Like when we're going home, they're like, yeah, a lady came around and passed a piece of paper around, and she's like, everybody write contact down to your family or whoever you want us to call, so we can tell you guys aren't coming home on your release date. So everybody was, in there just mad and like,
Right.
all types of stuff.
Right. What a disappointment.
So the plan was when I was supposed to get out, my buddy, he was going to pick me up, and then, we were going to drive back to where I live, and then I was going to see my family. And then unfortunately, it too much stuff was going on with COVID. And so finally they came to me. They're like, hey, you're going to get released on this date. This was like maybe a month and a half later. So finally I got released and my girl came, picked me up.
How did that feel? What were your thoughts, man? That's a long journey you went on.
At first I was kind of nervous because we're on the freeway and it felt like we're going like 150 miles per hour. Really, she going.
I'm doing this.
Really, she going 60s, but it was like I was just looking out the window and it's like, man, I can't believe looking at her and like, man, I can't believe I'm here. Like it was just like the weight just dropped off my shoulders. Then like, man, I'm really here.
There's nothing like it.
There's nothing like it. Best feeling in the world.
It's crazy. From the worst feeling in the world,
right,
to the greatest feeling in the world, man. Being free.
Definitely. Seeing my daughter born, that was like the best moment of my life, and then being released from prison was like second.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It was like
that's dope.
Nothing compared to it.
That's dope. And you're doing a lot of good with it, brother. That's good. It makes me proud to hear like so many brothers out there doing like real positive things. Right. And we run it at a time. I want to give you a few minutes to speak directly to whoever's listening. Yeah. Give them some words of encouragement. If they're about to make, if they're about to get in that proverbial car, whatever car it might be, whatever decision that they're going to make, give them some words of wisdom on, how they got to handle that situation because it could impact the rest of their lives. Yeah. One false decision, one false move. Yeah. And then also, of course, let people know where that they can find you. Yeah. If they want to get a session, man. This dude is a real workout guru. I'm looking at him. He's put together real well. The dude, he knows what he's doing. And he can help you also if you want to transform your mind and your body. Definitely reach out to this brother. So just speak directly to him and let him know where they can find you, social media, all that.
I would just like everybody to know that you just gotta find that comfort and just know that you are worthy. Like no matter what, you could be having a bad day, but like I say, then don't let one bad minute turn into years of regret. So you're worthy of whatever it is. If it's fitness, you're worthy of having the body you want to be. If you want to be the president, you're worthy of being the president. Whatever it is, just stick to it and stay motivated. And you can find me on Instagram at worthyfitq. If you need training, whatever you need, I got you. If you need advice, any guidance, it's free of charge. My DM is always open. I'm always willing to help others. All right.
That's what's up. All right. Once again, y'all already know what it is. It's me, Eric Jalal, in and out. It is my privilege once again talking to this brother. You already know why I love doing what I do, because I get the privilege of talking to so many worthy brothers. Each and every time another brother that I'm talking to is giving pure game, taking us through their journey, life experiences, and it just keeps getting better and better and better because these brothers and sisters are impacting others. They're doing nothing but good things because God is good. So once again, you know where to find us. Tune in to us on all social media platforms. Wherever you do your podcasting, you got to check for In and Out. WW, that's INNOUT, wherever, we're everywhere. Check us out. We appreciate you checking in. And now we're out. Peace.